Well, hello everyone. Welcome to North and South. This time it is the Dixieland Army Saturday line battle. These fine fellows, look at this. Oh, the 5th Georgian, the 52nd New York in there as well, the Charleston Regiment, Tennessee. Oh, goodness me, look at that. So many people in there. And on the opposing side, we have the fine, brave fellows from Mississippi, the AOS. The Dixielands, you can see there, the 8th Virginia, more of the Mississippis, 1st Kentucky, of course, and Kansas in there as well, the 7th Kansas. Fantastic stuff. Look at this. A great turnout here for both the teams. And we're going to see if we can find out what's going on. Now, you can see here, a group of these guys setting it up in the cornfield. There's the 11th Mississippi. So they're going to be forming a defensive wall, essentially, against the enemy. Now, the problem is they're going to have guys who are going to be sneaking up around on the sides. As you can see, the 1st Kentucky, Carlos, and they've lost a few people as they try and run down the side here to get into an outflanking position. So you can see that Private Franz and James Hagan have also died. Down goes Maxie William, recruit from the 52nd New York. So this is a relatively good defensive position for them. You can see that they're putting down a significant number of amount of fire, I should say. And you've got these guys over here who are trying to get into this particular field. So these guys who are getting themselves set up. The 1st Kentucky. And you can see there, Charleston have just lost their Captain Len. Now, you can see here, over here, these gentlemen from the 68th New York. They're starting to pull back as they're taking fire from across the bridge. Or I should say this dried up creek bed, as now you can see the likes of the 1st Tennessee. Look at these guys pushing forward with the commanding officer. Look at that. 1st Sergeant from North Carolina. Checking the back, there is Staff Adjutant Moraine and Sergeant Ezio from the brave North Carolina Brigade. Now, unfortunately, we just lost Man Bear Pig from the 1st Kentucky. So you can see these guys, essentially what they're trying to do is they're just trying to push these guys back as far as they can. Now, obviously, they've got to be careful. Now, over on the right-hand flank here, it looks like the fields are being defended very well by these fellows. There we go, the Mississippians. And supported by the 68th New York and more from the 11th Mississippi. Now, these guys, look at this, very aggressive push here by the AOS. Look at this. Fantastic. Here's brave new player. And there's Sapper Jester JC. Now, these guys getting very aggressive. Chubbyman Chubbs. What a fine name, sir. And they're pushing back against these guys, forcing them to move back. So there's the 5th Georgian. They've been pushed back against their defences. You can see the officer over here, or sorry, Sergeants, Archduke, continue to fire back. Down goes Chubbyman Chubbs. Poor Chubbs. And the flag holder is Eric F. Kent for the 5th Georgian. Now, let's see if we can find out what's going on. Now, these guys being very aggressive. This is really good. They're small in numbers, but the point is they're getting the guys to keep their heads down. And it also gives an opportunity for the people behind them to follow up. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the guys are not following up. They are firing over the top of the heads of their friends. And that's some fine fire, volley fire coming in from the 11th Mississippi. Now, it forces these guys over the other side to keep their heads down. Down goes Charleston, 2nd Lieutenant Digger. He's finished off unceremoniously. Mr. Russian War PFC from Georgia as Johnny Cat gets murdered by a sapper. And here is Moraine, getting very close to the front line. Got to be careful. Going to get shot in the back very soon. Now, let's have a look over on the buildings on the left-hand side. See what kind of defense and offense they've got working. And here, the Tennessee, there's Pop Rat Soldier. And also, we'll move along here to see additional. This is a slightly more offensive position here for the 26th North Carolinians. Chaplain Gandalf. Fine chaplaining. Man of Cloth. And the 26th North Carolina Sergeant there. And These guys doing a good job. Supported ably, of course, by the 52nd New York. Perhaps less so by him. But never mind. The point is that they're doing a good job of actually forcing a line here. Trying to keep everybody pushed back as much as they can. Now, obviously, they're firing into the barn in this defensive position. Here you can see the AOS, the 68th. Army of the South, I'm guessing that's what it would be. 68th New York. And these guys, with the likes of Brigadier General Levy. Charge! Indeed. And these guys getting involved. Look at this, breaking through the woods. As down goes Sergeant Al. And the charging begins as Major General Mr. Man. Doesn't he look wonderful? Or at least he did. Never mind. Commentator's curse yet again. As these guys looking to break through the lines. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. You can see them making their way back. You can see there the Charleston soldiers have made their way out of the wooded area. They were hoping to get what appeared to be an outflanking maneuver onto the barn. They're now forcing them to pull back, I should say. And here we go, Sergeant Kilroy. Fine hair. And Foxman Toxic, unfortunately, bleeds to death. Now. And let's see, PFC Horus. With one eye, ironically. So you can see these guys trying to hold the line. Where you've got the likes of the North Carolinas making their way through the barn. And this is where it's going to get up close and personal. For a little bit of bayonet-y fun. Oh yes, some stabby goodness as Lionheart gets taken down. From North Carolina. Max Voltage also murdered. And here we go. The move in very, very quickly from the North Carolinian troops. Moving in to consolidate their position. And you can see now the members of the 8th Virginia considerably being murdered horribly. And let's see. Moraine. You're not going to get back in there. So, Lady Moraine. The 2nd Division Staff Adjutant finally getting inside. So, they will now consolidate that defensive position in that barn. Let's have a look at the numbers. 52 and 32. Sorry, 32 and 32. So, Chaplain Gandalf keeping the troops' morale high with prayers and good wishes. Now, it's all equal. Where numbers are concerned in this particular battle. Correction, State Fan has just made it unequal by dying unceremoniously with a bullet to the bonce. So, there's Recruit Tom. Now, who's moving up here on one side? These fine fellows, here is I Am Fire Dog from the Kentuckians. And also Taj Knight in there as well. And there we go. 1st Kentucky, a cadet. Now, let's see. We can find out how things are going. So the Union are still lacking a few in numbers. Oh dear, poor Lady Moraine. Poor Moraine just gets murdered by the admin. Oh dear, poor girl. Never mind. Here's PFC Drake. And let's see. The Charleston Regiment here. Look at these fine fellows. Don't they look lovely? Quartermaster Sergeant Kylo. That's Kylo Ren. Maybe not. Ouch. Down goes Truron from the Charleston Brigade. Oh, the Charleston Brigade are taking some serious fire from across the way here. Let's see who these killers are. It's the 11th Mississippi with Madaris in there as well. And they're putting some sustained fire down on that defensive position. They're going to force them to pull back. However, a little surprise awaits them, courtesy of the North Carolinians now. Whether or not they're going to be able to move around here to see. This is what you can see. They're looking for an opportunity. Chaplain Gandalf has decided to part ways with the Lord and fire the holy bullets in the general direction of the enemy. Now, the thing is, if they could get enough people around the side here they could actually go in for a quick reload and then a jump in and a charge, maybe a little bit of a side flank. But the trouble is numbers. I mean, just look at the numbers of guys on here. This is a battle they would really not be able to win because of sheer weight of numbers. Now, okay, goodbye. As poor old cadet gets taken down by Private Breezy. Oh no, correction, that was anarchical. And here we're seeing Captain Smitty. Look at this. They see the rifle sticking out the edge of the barn. He's going to sneak it. As you can see, he pulls back slightly to see if he can get a look on them. Is he going to be able to do it? Oh, we're losing some people. Private Daniel shot down. Oh, this could be very unfortunate. Nope, there's nobody to load it. It's going to have to be the old-fashioned bullets. Now. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Nothing like a little bit of AC/DC on the bagpipes. To raise the hopes of the men and the morale, as down goes Volunteer Yeti, and this has forced the issue, and here they come. Oh, the Mississippians come charging in, bayonets fixed, and this could be a very unfortunate situation for those in New York regiments, and it's not looking good as Kemper Fent gets taken out. As we can see, more murdering occur as Whitman goes down. And these guys going to be medicked. Needing that all-important medicing. And now, the retreating forces fired at by Colonel Castile. The fine, brave soldier that leads the Mississippians. And they finished off the enemy, as you can see, well and truly finished off. And they killed Chaplain Gandalf. Oh, killing a man of the cloth, not allowed. However, it's going to be an all-charge, 17 versus 11. 11 on the Union, 17 on the Confederate States of America Army. So, let's follow them in. Where is the enemy? They're here somewhere. Must be across the field. As you can see, yep, there we go, here we go. It's out on the other side of this fence. And they're breaking the fence down to get in there with the melee, the bayonets, the 17-inch steel prongs of death. And looking to go in there and do a little bit of damage. And obviously you've got Poop Track Soldier in there with his saber. Going in for a nice slice, which he does into Pop-Tart. Sorry, correction. Pop-Tart War got killed. Rocky also going down, courtesy of Corporal Anderson. And let's see, 7 and 10. So the Union... Brave new player, unfortunately not holding it. It's a charge, not a dance. yeah, that's pretty much what it is we're looking at the moment. Here's Dr. PRF. Unfortunately, no longer a doctor. He's been disbarred. As you can see, Pop Track Soldier also getting involved with the bayonetti fun. Corporal Anderson from the 5th Georgian. Who's this gentleman walking backwards? It's Jeb Bush. Correction, it was Jeb Bush. That's Corporal Anderson. And here is Private Octavius. And there you have it. Wow. The first round is on the board. And we shall move on to the next one. And we return with the second round. These guys getting set up. Look at this. It's the 11th Mississippi again. Across from the dried up creek bed. Looking over to the hamlets. Okay, that's probably a slightly politically incorrect poster, but we'll gloss over that detail. But we're at the post office. And we're watching the members of the Georgian regiments making their way through the hamlet, through the village here, the town I suppose you could call it, and now they're moving back. So. Oh, goodness me. Snowy Owl with a kill onto Digger already. A fine shot coming in from the Mississippian. Fantastic. And let's see. What are they doing? They're trying to consolidate a good position. Now, engineering work coming in from Private Little. Georgian engineer of choice. Look at that. Aggressive engineering. Fine engineering work by this man. Putting up... Oh, no, we've lost Chubby Man McChubbs again already. Poor Chubby. Dear, oh dear. As soon as he gets a Chubby, he gets shot. It's just not on. Never mind. So here you can see there's Pop Tract Hunter. And the defensive positions being set up by their engineer. Good work here by sappers. Don't get enough love. Along with musicians, just don't get enough love. Well, precisely. And there's Sergeant Bambi. Now. Yeah, they've killed a Smurf. What colour does a Smurf go when you kill it? I know it doesn't go blue when you choke it, but, you know. And, yeah, Chubbs. Oh, dear. Poor Chubbs. Just dead again. Corporal Richards. The Mississippians. And look at these guys. A fine line. Looking over the creek. Now dried up, sadly. But let's have a look over the other side. Because moving up on the right-hand side of the enemy, on their right flank, is this regiment here, the Charleston Regiment. And they look fantastic. Look at that. Major Friedrich, fine moustache, unanimous. Investigating the worms is Quartermaster Sergeant Kylo. And there's Huon. And you've also got Sir. And Big Pappy. Blitzbang at one end. So, let's see. As supporting their left side is the 26th North Carolina. Look at these fine fellows. And who is that? That's Lady Moraine. That's Moraine, the Brigadier General. The Staff Adjutant, I should say, sorry, of the 2nd Division. Making her way back and forth across the lines, making sure that everyone is focused on the task at hand. And as per normal, down goes Lady Moraine. Oh, the timing. The timing was just beautiful. Moraine, you could not have timed that better. That was just poetry. Oh dear, poor Moraine. Never mind. So, horse goes off on a gallop. You can see the corpses of some of these guys still remaining. As the fire continues to come in. Numbers still pretty much equal. I'd say the Confederacy are at a bit of a disadvantage with numbers, as you can see cannon shot coming in, Moxie being taken down as well. Oh, look at these fusillades and volleys coming in from the 11th Mississippi. Great volleys, and supported ably, of course, by the Kentuckians. And the flag flying with pride. Look at that. The flag. Colonel Carlos repositioning the flag. And here is anarchical, sorry. And Colonel Castile of the 11th Mississippi keeping the boys focused. Keeping that fire going back at the enemy. Causing them to keep their head down and retreat if need be. Now the question is whether or not they're going to actually try and push that point. Oh dear. Mr. Man has just been murdered by canister shots. Let's see if we can find some of those artillerymen, because they haven't had any love yet in this cast. So let's see if we can find out what's going on. Now, let's see. Oh, hello. We're looking around. There's the chaplain, there's the 1st Kentucky. Here we go, of course, the fine Charleston Brigade. Tennessee, North Carolina, more Charleston. Brigadier General Richard Sharp of the 14th. Sorry, General Richard Sharp. And we're moving around, seeing if we can find the artilleryman. Are there any artillerymen today? There must be, because we've seen some canister shot in there. So there's got to be something. But you haven't really heard... What is he doing, sir? Hermann Goering from the 52nd. You're not really hearing a lot of cannons, I have to say. So this is the problem that we're going to have, is trying to find these particular cannons. But it doesn't look like they've actually got them. It's just a standard battle between forces. Look at that, some medicing work being done. Fine medicing. Not enough love for the medics. Lieutenant Colonel Vivian, the medic of choice. And hiding behind here. Thought it was wearing a balaclava for a second, but it's a really, really, really long hair. No, so... Let's see. Oh, goodness. That didn't go well for him, did it? So, they're essentially... They are trying to continue to sort of just cut away at the Confederacy, which is what they're doing. They're just trimming those numbers down. And then once they feel like they've got a better situation, they will actually start to push in. When they've got an advantage in numbers, they're probably going to push in. But we shall just wait and see. As here is Private North of the 52nd Kentucky. Down goes Pop-Trat Soldier. Let's see. As we watch over on the right hand side by this barn. There of course is Goomba. Trying to get out. And Colonel Carlos. And there's the commentator's curse. The late Colonel Carlos catching a bullet from Bambi. And you thought Bambi was a nice doe, a nice deer. No, Bambi came armed today. And this time it's personal. You don't want to shoot his mother, that's for damn sure. So let's see what's going on. As you can see, the casualties here starting to mount up. Oh, that's very unfortunate. That's very painful landing. Never mind. You can see the numbers continuing to be trimmed as the medicing continues. As there's Big Pappy being medicked. Oh dear, and then Sir dying in the background. So, let's have a look at the numbers. 36 and 44. So, right now, the Confederacy have actually started trimming those numbers of the Union Army back a little bit. So, the advantage that the Union had earlier on is not so significant. Now, who's this fine fellow with a sword? John A. Custer, captain of the 11th Mississippi. Doesn't he look fantastic with that fine sidearm and sword? So these guys continuing to shoot back at the enemy. Now, let's see. There's Pop-Trat, Corporal. And there's Blitzpang. Now, look at this. Could be a move here by the 52nd New York. They move up a little bit closer so they can get better fire onto their enemy. Obviously, they can't go this side because, as you can see, this is essentially the edge of the map. You're not going to go any further than that point. So, those guys continuing to put down the fire. And the cannon currently unused. And obviously the cleaning devices, you can see there, for putting stuff in and giving a good ram and a good clean. Not occurring. So, here is Cadet underscore. And look at that, the bullets continuing to land around the like of Taj Knight. Look at these numbers. Recruit Tom from the 11th Mississippi slowly being trimmed away. There we go, the medic coming in. Getting those boys, making sure they stay alive. Well, some of them, ouch. That's a very unfortunate death position, I have to say. That was not That was not an easy death. That was very brutal. Now there is Richard Sharp, General holding the flag. Down goes Lieutenant Colonel Vivian. And the fire still coming in from these guys from North Carolina. Look at them doing a fantastic job. There's Moya as well. And there we go. This is a stalemate, so it's time for a charge. Let's see how it turns out. Oh goodness. Whoops-a-daisy, that wasn't a charge. Floopsy Bunny's probably going to get murdered. So is another person. And there we can see a few murders going on. With a few shots going into the enemy. And a team kill as well. And there's the melee in the centre. In the view of the dried up creek bed. Creek bed. Hard to believe I've been speaking English for this long and I still can't get it right, but never mind. As now you can see, the murdering in the cornfields continues. A rather sobering experience, no doubt, as this is the kind of things that used to happen for real. And then the crops grew quite significantly after, because they were literally fed with the nutrients and the minerals that was in the blood of the people who died on that field. So yeah, think about that for a second. We'll move on to the next round on that little ray of sunshine. Well, we're back. After a map change, look at this lovely map. You can see the guys spawning as if they're coming over the field. You've also got these guys over here on the other side. And we're watched by, of course, our ever-present friend, the two-dimensional bird, who smiles upon this venture. Oh, goodness me, look at this. This is going to be a very, very nasty battle. This could be a melee battle of significant output. Look at this, the guys. Wow. Oh, look at this. Defenses. Oh! The North Carolinians and the Georgians going in with massive, massive firepower. Look at that. Fantastic call there from those guys. And it turned out to be an absolute massacre on these guys as they're trying to get the defenses up. They're rushing to get those defenses into position so they can at least put the fire back onto the enemy. And unfortunately, you can see that they are in danger maybe of being surrounded. Got these guys over here. There is Jeb Bush, Commanding Officer Colonel Castile of the Mississippi. And you can see now, over here on the right-hand side, they're continuing to push up against the Union forces. The 8th Virginia, bravely pushing forward. Look at this. Going up against the pistol fire of the likes of John Green, Sergeant. And they're literally trying to get back as quickly as they can. Out comes Moraine. Staff Adjutant, the pistol is drawn. Moraine trying to defend herself. Oh, watch out. And out comes the saber. A veteran killer rabbit has been murdered. And this has been a very, very nasty battle. But look at these defensive positions placed here by the 5th Georgian. And a definite shout out to the fine engineering work by these guys to get these defenses up so damn quickly while under fire as well. Fantastic. So a definite shout out here to the Private Little, the 5th Georgian. The 5th Georgian. Engineer of choice. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. So a fine moment there. The finest moment of Mr. Little, Private and Engineer. And look, he's creating multi-layered defences so they've got somewhere to move back to. Now, let's not also forget the work of the engineers over the other side as well. As engineers on both sides doing great work along with the medics. And there's Colonel Castile who's in as the medic. Now, it's possible we've lost the engineer who created these defences. But either way, they have created a corral of some sort to defend themselves. Now, what's going on over here? Mercenary Mace currently AFK. Now, what's coming here? This could be problematical. Staff Lieutenant Clarence of the 14th, and also Jake Stab and Richard Sharp. And here, the Army of the South, the 68th New York, and look at the bullets cracking between these guys. Oh my goodness. Is he going to throw an apple? Yeah, he's throwing a glass bottle. He's in with the bottle. Sergeant Al. And he's lost his bottle. Never mind. As Chadtopia is taken down. And here's Recruit Geel, or Recruit Eel, I should say. And these guys here really, really doing a great job of defending themselves. They do have the slight advantage for numbers. We better not watch Moraine. This should probably end up catching a bullet if we do that. So here is Johnny Gat. And there is the engineering work of Private Little. You can see him literally building a new barricade facing the direction that the enemy is coming from. And they are in a nasty situation. Not made any better by the odd puff of smoke from the enemy over here. But it looks like the enemy is no more, so there's no outflanking maneuver there. James Hagan and Smurf Chi go down from the Army of the South. And there's Private Josh. And Sergeant Higgins, ouch! Spartan shot down by Jester JC. And this is, even though it's a small map, has turned out to be a very, very intense battle. No so much standoffs, no sort of standing there and all the rest of it. It's literally become a brutal, bloody killing match between these two teams. And it's become very, very nasty. Now, what's going on here? Oh, goodness me, look at this. The corral has been attacked. And there's Sir Sam, PFC of the 52nd New York, looking to get in and do a bit of murdering, which is exactly what he's doing. And the Union have overrun the position. And we're going to move on to another map. Yeehaw indeed, here we are at the Confederate spawn. Fine drumming work. Look at this, Commanding Officer Brigadier General Levy and Captain Jaden of Kansas, the 7th Kansas Regiment. Fantastic stuff. And on the top of the hill, look at this, the staff. Jake Stab. There's Higgins. There's Clarence. So look at these fine rolling hills. Fantastic stuff. No, the chaplain. The chaplain's been lost in the field. So now they've got to see if they can find the enemy. Now the trouble is, obviously, fighting on hills like this means that it could be that you go down the other side and loads of enemy are on the other side of the hill in the base. And so this is what they've got to be careful of. Now, it might be that they need to hold this position, and we shall see if that's how they want to do it. Now, if we can find the Union. Now, you can see this position here. Good visibility all round. And there's Jeb Bush, Mississippian engineer at work. And there's Jaden. Look at this. With the standard mountain blade headbanging. It's literally almost considered normal. Look at this. Just Oh dear. I don't know why, it just seems to be very common with the Mountain Blade community that they're all completely balmy, but never mind. So, look at this. Commanding officers. There's Custer, captain. And we shall disappear. Oh dear. Johnny Powers shot down. Now where? Here we go. We see the quarry of the Confederate State armies pouring down like ants over the hill. Look at this. And into the valley. Now where are the rest of their teammates? So, look at that. Across the sprawling hills. Looks wonderful, doesn't it? And now you can see that they've got some guys over on the right flank. That's going to be a dirty, dirty outflanking maneuver. As the Union Army kind of tries to hold the middle here. You've got armies and soldiers moving around behind these hills. This is what is so good about a map like this with these rolling hills, is it enables them to hide their movement and their progression so they can maybe move into a very nasty outflanking ambush position. And here's a dug in entrenched position for the Tennessee regiment and the Georgian, and not so for Johnny Gat. So the fire rattling off the top of the hills, as here is the Army of the South, supported by the 1st Kentucky and a rather strange penis-like rock. Go figure. So maybe this is Penisburg. I don't know. I don't know what we call this map. And these guys here attempting to shoot at the enemy. Now we've got Staff coming up. There you go, Richard Sharp and Staff Lieutenant Clarence moving up. Now the advantage obviously of getting on top of one of these high hills is the visibility that it offers you of the battlefield and where the enemy is coming from. So you can see there, collection of troops, their quarry over here. Now, there we go, look at that. Remember I told you about the outflanking position being made by the guys? That's exactly what they were hoping for. As now the fire's coming in, but the defensive positions of the Confederate States of America Army has managed to hold that position. And who's running back? Oh, it's Captain Jaden dodging left and right to prevent from being shot down. And here the 52nd, supported by of course the Charleston, and there's Moraine with the binocs, and the North Carolinians coming in. So this is a really, really good ambush opportunity and push position. They've got the flank against the enemy. Down goes Brigadier General Levy. And it's whether or not they can hold against this. It's going to be a big ask. You've got these guys also from the Charleston getting up close and personal. As Big Pappy unfortunately has just been murdered. And there's Wenzel Purdy-Mouth. And you've also got Colonel Castile of the Mississippians. And this could be unfortunate for the Charleston Brigade, or the regiment I should say, as they're now going to come under a lot of attack from the enemy. As there's Ben Harris trying to defend himself against a drummer. And Sir gets taken down. And now that little push has been prevented as Pop Tut War gets murdered by a teammate. And look at this. The pushing coming in from all directions. Now they're pushing back. against the Union. Oh, fine stabbing going into Sir Sam there. Look at this. A bit of dozy-do stabbing. Sam trying to get in that important stab, but unfortunately dying, as Spartan also dies from the 52nd. Now, look at the numbers. 44 and 31. So right now, the Union is at a disadvantage. And I'd say the defensive position here of the Confederate state has been quite successful, as Huron, oh wow, Huron just going absolutely nasty. Croaky Berkey. What's going on there? Not a Rambo, but oh dear, we better not watch Moraine or she'll get killed. As these guys continuing to fire back. Here's Floopsy Bunny. And the likes of Ian 332. Now, this is the problem that they've got, is that they're in open field. They don't really have a lot of cover to hide behind. And this is the problem. As you can see here, down goes Digger. And the Confederate state forces are able to defend themselves against attacks coming in from the Union Army. And they're behind that wood. So they've got additional cover from the bullets. So, let's see. As here is Dr. PRF. Colonel to Dr. PRF. No less. Now, let's see. As the Union forces are out in the field and they're really having problems here. With a little bit of mad teabagging going on there from Moraine. And this could be all over very soon here for the Union forces. Bit of on-top teabagging. There's Hadrian and Ghosty moving up to finish off the enemy. As down goes Mr. Man, Killer Rabbit and Robert as well. And they literally, it's fair to say that they have got the Union Army on the run. And the Union Army now fleeing away from this attack. Followed with Whitman trying to defend and stop them. And here is DGM existing, trying to stop the battle, or trying to stop the attack, and try and help his friends as best he can. Major Yamper from North Carolina also trying to delay that eventual push. As you can see them just pouring down the hill. Captain Smithy with a fine stab into Ghosty. Let's see. And there will be one more round. Oh, there's Goomba. Currently alive. As Corporal Richards is not. And here is Private Daniel. And let's see the numbers, 16 and 14. So it's actually a lot more equal than you would have thought. So that's a good thing as far as we're concerned. But the question we're wondering is, where are the other members of the Union, as they're now down to 13 and 14. So this Union here has been mostly finished off. And who is this? It's Yamper. Now, question is whether or not Yamper can defend himself. Oh, fine kill. And another kill. Yamper going nice. Look at that. And another kill. Oh, could it be that Yamper goes clutch against the members of the Confederate State Army? Yamper, could this be the last one? Oh, nice block and a turn and a slice and another slice and another kill. Oh, Yamper. Wow. Yamper absolutely on fire, and a finishing teabag to end it on. Glorious. And there we go. Now it's all charged. It's time for Yamper. Going in to do a little bit more of the teabagging. And there we go. Fresh meat, ladies and gentlemen. Who's this? It's I Am Fire Dog. Yamper. Bring it. Bring it. He's primed for murdering. Oh dear. Look at this. Can Yamper get hit once and gets hit? Oh, poor Yamper. Too much killing. He's blood drunk. Never mind. Demoted. Now, let's see what's going on as we move over here as Toxic gets taken out. Lieutenant Colonel Vivian here, working together with Moxie, a state fan. No, oh, Chubbs had just died. Nearly made it to the end. Poor old Chubbs. Nearly made it to the end. Now, let's see. Here they are. 9 and 4. So, the Union could have the advantage against the 4 remaining... Oh, goodness, what's he doing over there? Sneaky goings on over here. I am Fire Dog. Now being pursued by the likes of Mr. Russian War and Pop Rat Soldier. That's not really all charge, is it, Pop Rat? Oh, there's one bullet. Look at this, a fight on the rock. Oh, goodness me. Oh, and a shot down. Oh, Fire Dog. Admin, he's on a rock. And we move on to the next round. So we have returned to the final round. Now, let's see. Oh, hello. The Sapper Jester JC. Bit of calisthenics working together with his teammate, Foxman Toxic. And Hadrian. Well, quite. Look at these guys. Get set up. There's Ben Coate, drummer. As horse assassination is occurring. Let's see. The Mississippians. And the flag being held by Jacoby. And here is Volunteer Forbidden of the 1st Kentucky. And Lieutenant Colonel Vivian looking buxom and lovely as usual. So, what's going on over here? The 11th Mississippi waiting. While their commanding officer, Colonel Castile, with a fine beard, checking the top of the hill, looking for the enemy, scouting around. Now, let's see. A pause for breath. We follow these guys into the battle. Now, down goes Sergeant Owl. Goodness me, look at this. Here is the Army of the South. So you can sneak between the rocks and look up on the hill.
Try to leave the pretty ones alive.
Well, precisely. As the Georgians are being hit by the likes of the cadets from Kentucky. Listen to that fire coming in. James Hagan taken down from Kansas. Wow. And these guys kind of pinned down slightly. They've got to be careful. They move to the right of that rock. They're going to be in a dangerous position. And now, you've got these guys. There's Chubby Man McChubbs. His survival is currently in doubt, based on his track record. Poor Chubby. As there's Colonel Castile. And here is John A. Custer from Mississippi leading the boys over to the left side. Now, let's see. So they'll be firing on their enemy over the other side by that rather large rock, which seems strangely placed on the side of the hill and hasn't rolled down the side. So, yeah, not sure why there'd be such a big gap there, but never mind. As is not to reason why, as is but to do and die. And a desiccated tree Oh goodness, somebody's died. And here is the 52nd New York, his Private Spartan, looking handsome. And Private Franz with fine moustache. Now, if we can find out what the rest of these guys are up to here, the 5th Georgian moving up to support the other guys in this defensive position behind the rock. Let's see. Here, of course, the Charleston Brigade making use of the cover of the hill as a few guys take a hit. Oh dear. Down goes Salvadut as the medic dealt with the problems. But unfortunately, the fire continues to come in. Look at this, these guys on the other side of the hill. There's Brave, new player. And the bullets continuing to hit the splats. Oh god, they're assassinating all the horses. All the horses are being murdered. There's Colonel Vivian, looking to get the boys organised as the fire continues to come in. So let's have a look at the difference. 48 alive, sorry, and 57. So Confederacy has the advantage of numbers. And it still remains that way. And this defensive position is pretty good as far as they're concerned. They've got a large rock to their back, so it stops them from being jumped. You've got Major Pop Track Soldier there by a defensive position. You've also got a commanding officer, or I should say Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Powers from the 5th Georgian, watching that area as well. Now, this is probably what they were afraid of. The likes of the 11th Mississippi coming round on a... Now, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. The brave charge of the flag. Jacoby charging in with the flag. Look at that. Showing the intentions of the Mississippians as they charge in on this position. Brave, brave charge there, and fantastic colour carrying there by Jacoby, who managed to survive everything thrown at him. Just absolutely brilliant. So now you can see the Tennesseans and the Georgians in trouble, and the colour carrier Jacoby still remains alive, running back and forth, and it looks like the enemy has been vanquished on the hilltop by the 11th Mississippi and their colleagues. Oh, look at this. And drumming is being done by Ben Coate. And there's the medicing. Corporal Richards doing his medicing, getting the bandage out. And the 11th Mississippi with a fine charge onto the enemy. And of course, there's Clarence holding the flag there, but a definite shout out to the extremely brave carrying of the flag by Corporal Jacoby of the 11th. Now they can hold this position and lay down some fearsome fire on the enemy. So we fly past the rocks. No enemy there. No enemy there. There still remains people on the hill. There, the 11th Mississippi. He's out of position, so he's going to go and catch up. And there, the 7th Kansas. Wenzel, Purdy Mouth. And here, the 22nd Pennsylvania. Along with North Carolinians. Now, shooting at the fleeing members of the Confederate States of America. Jester looking to try and fix his bayonet. Didn't have time. And now, here is Chubby Man McChubbs. The chubbiest of all the chubs. He's going to try and fix his bayonet soon, maybe. No, he's going to go for a reload. Quite short rifle he's carrying today. Almost non-existent. It might be a pea shooter. No, it's a proper rifle. So you can see all the guys Getting all their stuff together. Now, let's see. Here are the North Carolinians on the horse. There is Staff Adjutant Moraine. Let's not watch her for too long, because we know what happens. The curse of the commentator will kill her. So, there's Smitty being murdered. And it's a little bit of a standoff, I suppose you could say. I mean, 16 members of the Union remaining. But this attack here was fantastic. The 11th Mississippi with a charge on that hill. And now, the forces of the Virginian regiments making their way out. Staff Lieutenant Clarence also. And the flag continuing to be held by Jacoby, who has not managed to catch a bullet yet, so we won't watch him any further in case he does. There we go. And it's all charge. And so, obviously, thank you very much to all of the players, all the regiments that have joined in for this Dixieland North American event. My thanks to every single player here, including Chubbs, poor Chubbs, for organising and taking part and making the community what it is. A bunch of complete nutters. Oh dear. Oh, down goes Moraine. Knew she wouldn't last. Let's see. Oh no, we've lost Chubbs. Chubbs has been murdered. And there you go. The Confederacy has won the round. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. And my thanks to the North American community and to Lady Moraine for inviting me. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.